Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. And I'm back. This is What If Deku Was the Flash, and it is the finale of the series. If you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to show some love, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff, and yeah, that's really all I gotta say. I don't want to waste too much of your time. I've been kind of procrastinating this video. So sorry about that. Been procrastinating just a little bit, but here we are, and here I am to record it. Now, with that said, I want to get right into the story because I want to get exactly into where we left off. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya, Mirio Togata are facing down Overhaul. Yes, the villain that they've been searching for months on end, they've stumbled across in a matter of coincidence. But in all reality, this was the exact time that Izuku and Mirio were truly going to face off with Overhaul. Now, Izuku looks at this young little girl by the name of Eri and questions to himself what he needs to do. Does he need to rush off? Does he need to save her? What does he need to do? Many things are going through his head. At the end of the day, he's been chased down by someone that is just like this little girl, someone that supposedly he made into this so-called villain. So what is he supposed to do? If he just runs her away and saves her that way, what does that do to the timeline? But of course, there are many things going through Izuku's head, and frankly enough, the timeline is not one of them. We all know that there are repercussions to every little thing we do, especially if it's changing something that is of the magnitude of someone else. Very similar to what's happening with Eri in the future. The fact that she comes back, the fact that she becomes this powerful speedster, and all of these things. But Izuku is just thinking about how he needs to save this little girl. Now, good is good and bad is bad, or at least that's what it feels like for the most part, but it's not that simple when dealing with time. And Mirio himself doesn't even know what's going on, but it's odd because Mirio would be guiding Izuku ironically enough, in the proper direction that he should have taken, because Mirio would try to defuse the situation. Mirio would try to more or less get Overhaul to be calm, get Overhaul to relax, and then basically allow him to take Eri back. But eventually they'll go after her again because they need more information. They can't be out here and take a fight. But that's not what Izuku is thinking about. That is the furthest thing from what he truly is thinking about. What he's thinking about is how to save this little girl. But one false step, one false look, it seems like Overhaul realizes what Izuku wants to do, and he begins to attack them. Immediately and without hesitation, attacks both Mirio and Izuku, and it's obvious that he puts an emphasis on attacking Izuku because he knows that this kid could run off and disappear with Eri in a matter of seconds. He even clicks the side of his hip as if he's calling for some sort of reinforcements, which is something that is not good at all. And from the distance and from a building above, there is someone currently watching, that being of the Reverse Flash, currently watching everything go down. But there is this uneasy feeling within the Reverse Flash's stomach that she is currently watching the hero that she supposedly despised so much fight for the smaller life, or her smaller self's life entirely. And it feels as if that maybe, just maybe, she misjudged who he was and what he actually resembles as a hero. But does that really matter, at least right now? In my opinion, not really. But the fight doesn't care about my opinion at the moment, and Mirio and Izuku keep trying to take on Overhaul and restrict him. Izuku needs to be Deku needs to be very careful to not get touched by Overhaul. There's a lot of things dealing with Overhaul's quirk that they don't understand, so making sure to not get touched is a very big thing. Mirio and his quirk is kind of perfect for this, because Mirio is basically able to make Overhaul miss on command, making him actually miss over and over and over again. And this would frustrate Overhaul, extremely in fact. Overhaul would get extremely frustrated to the point that he really wants others to come help him, and they're actually coming with something that many of them don't really have a ton of information on, just minor information, nothing major, and that would be quirk erasing bullets. Now, they would look to actually utilize this because they feel that since they are protecting and trying to basically keep Eri, that it seems as if they're going to kind of give away like this, opening, you could say. And that's exactly what's going to occur, because Izuku would hear the bullets ring off and he would see something. He would see Mirio protecting Eri, about to take the bullets himself, but somebody would come out of nowhere, kicking Mirio off of Eri and moving out of the way. This person is a henchman of some sorts, but Mirio is unable to react because he was going to protect her just with his body, not even utilizing his quirk, and that's a very bad thing. Izuku would go sprinting to catch the bullets, not allowing the bullets to touch Eri, not knowing if it's quirk erasing or just something to actually kill her. But as he goes to reach and grab the bullets to cover them up, a kick to the side of his basically his rib cage sends him tumbling and crashing into the building next to him, and then he immediately looks up to see the reverse flash, seeing the older version of Eri kicking him off, as this reverse flash tells him that saving her this day right now would erase everything that she wanted for so long. All the reasons and all the power that she got from this moment, that he was going to take it all away. But Izuku's confused. Wasn't she mad that he wasn't there to save her? Wasn't she mad that he wasn't the hero that he could have been to make sure that she was safe? But Eri seems to be completely, the reverse flash Eri is completely out of it at this point. It says that the power she holds is the only thing that matters to her now. And that is something that she now understands, and is the exact reason why that her younger self can never be saved. Which is an absolutely scary thought, because Izuku thinks in his head, well, what was he supposed to do in the first place? And it kind of feels as if it doesn't matter the decision he made, the good, the bad, there is none. There is no decision that he could have made to save that little girl, at least the way that she wanted to be. It seems as if even beyond that, it doesn't seem as if Izuku's going to have any impact on Eri in the near future. And if he does, it's only going to screw up the timeline even more. But guess what? It seems as if Izuku's not thinking about that. He's just thinking about how to make it right with Eri. Now, it's an odd thing because he is talking about or thinking about the younger version of her. But of course, instead of chasing away the older version of Eri or the reverse flash would run off, seemingly quaking the ground. And as in the distance, and as she's running off, a portal would open and she would jump right through, subsequently going into or back into the future. At least that's what Izuku is able to see and what he thinks. Now, Overhaul is completely in shock and completely out of it, being that he has seen an older version of Eri And on top of that, a version of Eri now, and the younger one, being that she has her quirk erased, and that her quirk is completely gone now, and he no longer can get anything out of it. Izuku and Mirio would close the distance with Overhaul, not having to worry anymore, or at least not as much, defeating him very, very quickly and rounding up the henchmen that came to help him. And everything seems okay. Everything seems all right, as if things and decisions were made, and people have to suffer and people have to benefit, and it all goes both ways. But Izuku still in the back of his head is worried about one person, that being Eri. Now, it's an odd thing for him because yes, Overhaul has been defeated, and yes, Eri is safe, but she's kind of put out of commission for a good while. Now, Izuku does still work with Sir Night-Eye's agency, and also even works with obviously UA for the most part to train and still continue everything he's doing. They even have a class A versus class B training that is extremely beneficial for every single person there. But all the main villains and everybody that truly was a massive impact is for the most part put away in prison and dealt with in general. And the main person that Izuku has been dealing with this entire time, being that of the Reverse Flash, is basically gone. It's definitely an odd feeling, and something that Izuku has to kind of remedy just a little bit, because he's been dealing with this for just quite a bit now. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not a full-fledged hero necessarily, but he has been dealing with super villain type motives, and it's been a bit of a struggle. But luckily throughout this time, he benefits from the support of someone like Mei Hatsume and the training he gets from UA, and a lot of the things that would just kind of progress in their student era would just happen normally, and nothing really super eventful would even occur. Yes, you have kind of like the Meta Liberation Army, or the Front, that they may end up having to deal with, and I could see them actually facing off with them maybe in the near future, but they were kind of off on their own for the most part, and probably would be kind of just condemned by themselves for a while. But the main thing is Izuku still thinks about the one person that has practically ruined so much of his, or the beginning of his, hero life. That being the Reverse Flash, but of course, Eri is still a child. I mean, she doesn't know anything, and that was adult, or basically an adult version of Eri that came back and tried to practically kill Izuku, and that's not something he's going to hold against the younger version, but still wants to try and make peace with it. And the thing is, well, that would end up being the worst idea he could possibly do, and it's a scary, scary thing when you don't understand the effects of time, because Izuku begins to actually take visits of and meet Eri, begins to speak with her, begins to make sure that she's okay, explain what happened, explain what occurred, and explain that she's going to be a better person. It's going to take a while, but she's going to be a good person and a great person after all this is said and done. That the trauma and all that does not define her, but she can use it to fuel herself in the near future. And this would progress all the way until Izuku becomes a hero. Izuku, the pedestal, the Flash, and this still leads to Eri becoming, well, someone that looks up to Izuku. And soon, at a young age, she would adopt powers like a speedster. But the combination of the quirk erasing bullet and also her time or rewind like quirk is what actually gives her her speed powers, or her connection with some sort of different version of the speed force. But this is what's scary, because Izuku begins to help this version of Eri, training her, molding her, and helping her become the hero she wants to be. And Izuku continues his path as a hero himself, stopping crime, helping people, stopping calamity, and so on. But the thing is he doesn't understand that the calamity that he will create on his own will be more than anybody could possibly imagine. Because soon, the people begin to feel the effects of what Izuku decided to do. Well, and those effects were all stemmed from the way he treated Eri in the past, or in a different past, or basically in a different timeline, in a way that or in a different timeline, he basically didn't save Eri the way he did this time around. He didn't know about Eri nowhere near as much as he would have in this version of the time. And this version of the time, now Eri's realizing how good of a hero Izuku is and how much he's done to protect her, so there's no point in her running back in time to do anything. Now this begins to actually fragment the timeline entirely, and Izuku feels the calamity and the planet shaking in its entirety. Many heroes try to stop it, but the knowledge of what's going on is very, very little. But Sir Night-Eye begins to tell Izuku that there's only one thing he sees, and it all ends with Izuku running. And he looks at him and he tells him that that's what's going to happen, that he's going to have to run to stop this calamity, and he's going to have to hit speeds that he has never hit in his entire life. And he's not sure what happens outside of that, but it seems as if that path is all up to Izuku, something that he can't foresee and something that his foresight can't even look past. All he sees for Izuku in the coming day is he'll be running faster than you could possibly imagine, and then everything goes dark. Everything for Sir Night-Eye through the eyes of Izuku goes dark. Not dark in terms of the way of there's nothing there, but dark in the way of there's nothing he can truly see. Nothing that is there to be seen by the powers that were given to him. Now, it seems as if Izuku has the powers of a god, but it seems like when you play God and try to actually help others that normally you would have never helped in the first place, or you wouldn't have had the effect you would have in the first place, things begin to spiral out of control faster than you could imagine. Sir Night-Eye would look at Izuku and tell him to run. To run, Deku, run. Deku would then chase after nothingness. He would begin to accelerate as if he's chasing something that doesn't exist, running as fast as possible, hoping and trying to connect to the speed force that struck him that day, trying to find what he needs. And eventually, he would get enough speed, enough power, and enough ability to open up what seems to be some sort of wormhole. And as he enters, everything goes black. And then a white light would begin to overwhelm the entirety of everything. And Sir Night-Eye, his foresight with Izuku might have been all black, but it seems as if when the light or the white light begins to push forward toward them, it's the light of a giant reset, a giant stopping point, and a giant ending for the entirety of this world. It's something they couldn't have foreseen and something they couldn't have expected, but as they watch the white light consume them, it's as if they never existed in the first place. And all is left is the speedster, Izuku Midoriya, running through time, trying to clean the slate, trying to create a new world that he hopes can truly be like the last one. This begins to mentally mess up Izuku as he's chasing through the darkness, as he's trying to find his way to the light itself. He doesn't know what to even think. His mind is completely gone. His mind is completely blank, and he can't even think about what's happening. He just left an entire world in ruins, so much so that they don't even exist. His parents, his mother, his brother, Bakugo, and so many others, they're gone, as if they never existed. And soon Izuku would begin to lose the memories of them as well, especially when he would enter his brand new world, crashing through the streets of a brand new city, a city that is unknown to him. Izuku Midoriya has now wiped the slate clean and has now entered a brand new place, somewhere very far from home. But that is the end of this story. The end of What If Deku was the Flash. And if you enjoyed, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And yeah, I mean, I know this was a bit of a different ending than some of the other videos I've definitely done in the past. But nonetheless, I hope y'all enjoyed the video and enjoyed the series. And I'll be posting the entirety or the movie probably the day after you see this. So you'll be seeing the movie come out pretty darn soon. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all enjoyed the series. Make sure to leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below if you want to see more stuff like this, more videos that involve, you know, more story based and maybe Deku stuff, maybe some other stuff, whatever. Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.